In this video, we will identify the parts of the coordinate plane and plot a point's location. So let's talk about what the coordinate plane is. The coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of two number lines, the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. So we have our horizontal axis here, that's a number line. We read the number line from left to right. And our vertical axis, up and down, we read that from bottom to top. So let's label what our axes are. The x-axis is the horizontal axis. So this axis here that goes from left to right is our x-axis. The vertical axis is our y-axis, which we read from bottom to top. The origin is the point at which the axes intersect. So where the x and y axes cross is that point 0, 0, which we call the origin. The axes also split the plane up into different sections, which are called quadrants. So the four sections that the axes separate the coordinate plane into are the four quadrants. The way we number the quadrants is to make a C. That's how you can remember which one's which. So we make a C. So we start here to make a C with quadrant 1. Then we continue drawing our C to quadrant 2. Continue our C to quadrant 3. And then lastly quadrant 4. So these are the parts of our coordinate plane. Now let's use these to plot some points. Well, we need to know what a point is. A point is represented by an ordered pair. An ordered pair has two parts. The one that represents the x value or the x coordinate, and one that represents the y value or y coordinate. These tell us the locations on the x and y axis for each one of those coordinates. Next, let's identify the positive and negative parts of each axis. I know I'm always going to start at the origin, and if I move to the right, we know that's our positive direction. If I go from the origin, go to the left, that's where all my negative x values are located. So if we're on the left side of the graph, that means we have a negative x value. If we're on the positive side of the graph, we're going to have a positive x value. What about the y's? The y-axis, if I'm going up, so if I'm on the top part of our graph, we know these are our positive y values. If I'm going down, these are my negative y values. So I need to figure out whether my values are positive or negative based on where they are on those axes. So if I'm going to look for the coordinates of A, I need to find its ordered pair. So I'm going to start from the origin and I'm going to count to point A. I know I need my x coordinate, and that's going to come from my x-axis value. So if I'm going to count on the x-axis to point A, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm lined up with A. So I counted 4 spaces from the origin. That means that my x coordinate for A is 4. Now I can count my y coordinate. It's up 1, 2, 3, and now I'm lined up with A. That means that my y coordinate is 3. So the ordered pair for point A is 4 for my x coordinate, 3 for my y coordinate. All right, let's get the ordered pair for B. B is down here. I'm going to count from my origin. I need the x coordinate. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the x-axis until I'm lined up with B. But I was going on the negative side of the x-axis. So when I count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means that that 5 is negative. So my x coordinate for B should be a negative 5. If I count on my y-axis, I'm also going down into the negative y values. So I count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because I'm on the negative side of my y-axis, my y-coordinate is negative. So my ordered pair is -5 for my x-coordinate and -6 for my y-coordinate. For C, I have a positive x-coordinate, so I count from my origin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know my x-coordinate is a positive 10. Now I know my y-coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's in the negative direction. So I have positive 10, -4. So positive 10 is my x-coordinate, -4 is my y-coordinate. Now for point D. Point D is located here. So notice that I didn't move left or right at all from the origin. So my x-coordinate doesn't move from what the x-coordinate of the origin is. So my x-coordinate is just 0. But I need my y-coordinate. So my y-coordinate, I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. And so my y-coordinate should be a positive 7 because I moved in the positive part of the y-axis. So my x-coordinate is 0 and my y-coordinate is 7. All right, for E, take a look at its coordinates. From the origin, count the x value, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces. But I moved to the left into the negative part of the x-axis, so that means my x-coordinate is a -9. My y-coordinate, I'm going up into the positive 1, 2 spaces. So my ordered pair is -9 for my x-coordinate and 2 for my y-coordinate. For point F, I went to the left 1 from the origin, so that's going to be a -1. But I didn't move up or down on the y-axis at all, so it remains at 0. So my coordinate for F is -1. My y-coordinate is 0. Now let's talk about the coordinates and where these points lie on each quadrant. So point A is in quadrant 1 because point A's location is in the first quadrant. Point B is in quadrant 3. Point C is in quadrant 4. Its location is in this fourth section of our coordinate plane. What about point D though? You could say it's in quadrant 1 and 2, but it's not really. It's on that axis. When it's on the axis, we say it doesn't lie in any quadrant. So we would say none. Point E is in quadrant 2, and point F, it's on the axis between 2 and 3. So we would say it's not in a specific quadrant. So we've learned how to find the ordered pairs and the quadrant location for each of those coordinate values.